مجمع الأندلس التعليمي، تعلم عصري ملهم بهوية وطنية وقيم إسلامية.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear grade 12 of Al-Andalus Secondary School, welcome to our first lesson in the second semester. Unit 6, Lesson 1. The unit is entitled with Health and Fitness. Before we start our lesson for today, I'd like to introduce today's value for you. Listen carefully to this verse of the Holy Quran and relate this to today's lesson.
وابتغ فيما آتاك الله الدار الآخرة ولا تنس نصيبك من الدنيا وأحسن كما أحسن الله إليك ولا تبغ الفساد في الأرض إن الله لا يحب المفسدين.
ولا تنس نصيبك من الدنيا. نعم، فالمؤمن القوي خير وأحب إلى الله من المؤمن الضعيف. لهذا فإن هذه الوحدة ترتبط بهذه القيمة، فالوحدة عنوانها Health and Fitness، فيجب أن نحيا حياة كريمة كمسلمين وأن نسعى إلى إرضاء الله ولا نفسد في الأرض. جزاكم الله خيرا. Now let's move to our lesson. As we said before, today's lesson is the first lesson in Unit 6, which is entitled with Health and Fitness. And today's lesson is reading. It will be in student books page 82 and 83. And today's objectives are as follows. At the end of the period, students should be able to correctly complete a table with the facts from 4 texts. Number 2, skim and scan 4 texts to relate 10 actions to the persons who did them. Number 3, provide correct written responses to 2 questions, CR questions. And finally, number 4, correctly match 6 words with their meanings. Let's start. Open your student books page 82 to do exercise B. In exercise B, we have to read the texts carefully. We have 4 texts, A, B, C, and D. And then we have to complete the fact files. To make it easy for you, I divided the exercise into 4 parts. The first part will deal with the first text, which is entitled with Tour Divide. We need to fill in the spaces in the table referring to the text. Here is the text, text A, Tariq Ahmed, the tour divide. The spaces to be filled are race type, يعني نوع السباق, location, الموقع, distance, المسافة, and finally approximate completion time, يعني الوقت التقريبي للانتهاء من السباق. Now all you have to do is to pause the video and try to fill in the spaces. يعني أوقف الفيديو ل5 دقائق مثلا، ثم حاول تعبئة الفراغات بنفسك، ثم عد لتشغيل الفيديو مرة أخرى لتحصل على الإجابات الصحيحة. هيا بنا. Welcome back. Hello. Have you finished? I hope so. Here are the answers. The race type is yes, of pavement cycling race. And here is the evidence from the text. What about the location, الموقع? Yes, true. Canada and USA. The continental divide. What about distance? Yes, true. 4,418 kilometers. Good job. And finally, what's the approximate completion time? Yes, true. More than 2 weeks. Good job, dear students. Now let's move to text B. Again, pause the video and try to do the exercise yourself. أوقف الفيديو وحاول الإجابة بنفسك. Go on. You can do it. Here are the answers. Race type is foot race. Location, along the Arctic Circle. Distance, 190 kilometers or 610 kilometers. And finally, the approximate completion time is, yes, 4 to 9 days. Great job. Now let's move to text C. And again, pause the video and try to do the exercise yourself. Then play the video again to check your answers. Here are the answers. The race type is, yes, foot race. Location, the Sahara Desert. The distance, yes, true, 250 kilometers. And finally, the approximate completion time is, yes, great job, 6 days. Now it's time for the final step or the last section of this exercise, which deals with text D. Again, pause the video, do the exercise, and then play the video again to check your answers. Here are the answers. The race type is foot race. The location, yes, Peru. The distance, good, 230 kilometers. And finally, the approximate completion time is 6 days. Thank you, dear students, for your effort. And now let's move to exercise C. Here is exercise C. Read the texts again. For questions 1 to 10, choose from the people A to D. I'm gonna help you with the first question. Which person describes the difficulties of racing at high altitude? Yes, D. And here is the evidence from the text. Rocky paths and tough mountain roads. So this expresses or shows the difficulties of racing at high altitude because a mountain is high, right? Okay. Now pause the video and do the rest of the exercise yourself. After that, play the video again to check your answers. Here are the answers. Which person, number 2, mentions different versions of the race? Yes, true. B. And here is the evidence. Number 3, which person mentions his preparation for the race? Yes, A. And here is the evidence. What about number 4? Which person found comfort in the fact that few people complete the race? Yes, B. And here is the evidence. Number 5, which person mentions having previous experience of similar races? Yes, D. And here is the evidence. Number 6, which person mentions that some essential supplies are provided during the race? Yes, C. And here is the evidence. Number 7, which person mentions that the race was a stress-free experience? Yes, true. A. And here is the evidence. Number 8, Which person explains how his equipment gave him a hard time? Yes, B, and here is the evidence when he said, I struggled a lot because my sled was a bit too heavy. Number 9, which person says that he could have been prevented from finishing the race because of a mistake? Yes, D, and here is the evidence. And finally, number 10, which person mentions spending time with other participants during the race? Yes, C, and here is the evidence. Thank you for your good effort. And now let's move to exercise D. Exercise D. Provide a written response to the following questions in your own words. Use information from the text to support your answer. Of course, this question is a CR question. السؤال عبارة عن سؤال مقالي. يجب أن تستعين بما ورد في النصوص لكي تحصل على الدرجة أو العلامة الكاملة. Now let's read the questions. How can ultra-distance events improve people's physical and mental health? Number 2, how are the values of positivity and endeavor reflected in the descriptions provided by the participants of the extreme sporting events? Do you understand the questions? I'm going to translate them. Number 1, كيف يمكن للسباقات ذات المسافات العالية أو الكبيرة أن تحسن الصحة العقلية والبدنية للمتسابقين أو للمشتركين؟ Question 2. كيف انعكست قيمتي الإيجابية والهمة العالية في وصف المشتركين بالأحداث الرياضية الشاقة؟ Again, pause the video, refer to the text to answer these two questions, and then play the video again to check your answers. Here are the answers. Number 1. Ultra-distance events are, no doubt, very challenging and require a lot of effort to accomplish. Anyone interested in taking part in this kind of event would have to overcome many physical and mental barriers to do so. The physical barriers would involve pushing oneself to build above average physical fitness, strength, and endurance. This comes with a lot of pain and discomfort and requires a lot of self-discipline, determination, self-motivation, and drive. The process involved, thus, helps to improve not only one's physical health, but also one's mental well-being because it requires a positive, proactive mindset to get through. Here is a suggested answer for the second question. The values of positivity and endeavor are clearly reflected across all 4 of the descriptions. Tariq Ahmed's positive attitude towards his own sporting capabilities helped to build his confidence in his ability to handle the demands of the race. In my opinion, having belief in oneself is something that anyone who takes part in an extreme sporting event must have to succeed. I hope your answers were close to these 2 answers. Now it's time to move to the last exercise for today, which deals with vocabulary. Exercise E. Look at the highlighted words in the text and match them with their meanings, A to F. Then check your answers using a dictionary. في هذا النوع من الأسئلة يجب على الطالب أن يحاول تخمين معنى الكلمة من سياق الجملة في النص المحدد. فعلى سبيل المثال كلمة equivalent يجب أن نرجع إلى النص الذي توجد فيه هذه الكلمة ثم نحاول أن نقرأ حول الكلمة ما قبلها وما بعدها لنحاول أن نصل إلى أقرب تخمين للمعنى المراد. ثم بعد ذلك نقرأ الاختيارات ثم نحاول اختيار الإجابة الصحيحة. So, now pause the video, read the words in their contexts, and then choose the right answer. After that, play the video again to check your answers. Here are the answers. Number 1, equivalent. C, 2, exaggeration. E, 3, strenuous. F, 4, scorching. A, 5, self-sufficient. Yes, B. 6, accomplishment. Yes, D. I advise my good students to type these words in your browser and check them on Cambridge Online Dictionary for the right meaning and the right pronunciation. Thank you very much. Now it's time for your homework, and today's homework will be on page 64 in your workbook, exercise A. Here is exercise A. I wish you good luck with it. Inshallah, next time we're going to check the answers for these questions. Good luck. Thank you. Goodbye.
مجمع الأندلس التعليمي، تعلم عصري ملهم بهوية وطنية وقيم إسلامية.